Hello, it is Tina Clark, computer teacher, making sure it's recording here. And today is July 27th, 2020, and we are going to continue reading our Trueflix book about wildfires. In the first video, we talked about what is a wildfire, and wildfires are part of the normal life cycle of some forests and grasslands. And they are fires that start out like in forests or brushlands that usually would start like outside of a city. And I'm not going to go through everything. This is a review because this was in the first video. And they can be brush fires. A lot of times wildfires are started by lightning, but it can also be started by people who are careless. We talked about that. And we talked about a firestorm. There was a video in the last video of a firestorm, so make sure that you go back and watch that. And then we ended by talking about the Yellowstone fires of 1988. So here we go. We are going to now talk about what's called the Oakland Fire. Okay, so the Yellowstone fire was in an unpopulated part of the country. That means that there weren't a lot of people living there. 3 years later, a wildfire started close to a city. In October 1991, some grass on the hills near Oakland, California caught fire. On the first day, the firefighters thought they had put out the fire and they went home. They were wrong. The next day, the fire was still burning. It burned shrubs and raced over the hills toward houses. There were very strong winds that week. Embers blew in the wind, starting more fires closer and closer to houses. Soon, thousands of people had to evacuate. And evacuate, that's that word right there. That means that they had to leave. They had to leave their home. Thousands of people had to leave their home as the wildfire turned into a firestorm. 4 days later, firefighters had finally brought the fire under control. However, 25 people had been killed and more than 3,000 houses had burned. In Yellowstone, everything grew back by itself, because it was, trees and grass and things like that. In Oakland, it cost more than $1 billion to rebuild the area because there were houses and buildings that got burned down. So the Oakland fire was different in that it started outside of the city or close outside the city, but it came inside the city. So wildfires can be out in the wild where there's not very many people, or it can start in the wild and go into cities. Fighting fires. In towns and cities, fire trucks can race to the scene of a fire. There is usually a fire hydrant nearby to supply plenty of water. In a wildfire, trucks may not be able to get close to the fire. If they can, they have to carry water tanks or pump water from a lake or a river. Firefighters have developed ways of tackling fires that trucks can't handle. So here's a picture of a helicopter that had scooped up some water in a nearby lake or river, and they're spreading the water onto the fire. So this page talks about volunteer firefighters. I'm not going to go into that. I will let you look at that on your own because remember, this is a book you can get to yourself, and I showed you how to do that in the first video. And then there's a watchtower where individuals would be in the tower watching for fires. All right, hotshots. We're going to talk about hotshots. Hotshots to the rescue. Once a dangerous fire is spotted, firefighters are sent to keep it from spreading. If the fire is hard to reach, smoke jumpers, and a smoke jumper is a firefighter who parachutes into a fire area. Smoke jumpers might parachute in from airplanes. In the worst wildfires, special teams of firefighters travel from all over the country to help. These are specialists. They are known as hotshot crews. Many trained volunteer firefighters also join the battle. Firefighters often make a fire break to stop a fire from spreading. A fire break is a wide strip of ground where there is no fuel for the fire to burn. A road or a river can be part of a fire break. Sometimes a fire break is made by cutting down and removing trees and bushes. Other fire breaks are made by lighting a backfire. A backfire is a fire started purposefully to stop an advancing wildfire by creating a burned area in its path. So fire breaks are made by lighting a backfire to burn up fuel before a raging fire can reach it. All right, and I believe, I'm going to go back here. Right now we are going to go to area on my PowerPoint that will direct you to the hotshots. So this will be a link in my video that I want you to click on. I'm going to show you just a part. So the hotshots are people who are very highly trained, and they will go to various really bad fires, and they will go into mountainous areas and forest areas, and they have to be really in shape, and they have to be like, they're kind of like the elite of the firefighters, like the best of the best. All firefighters are the best, but these hotshot people are specially trained to go into really bad areas, and a lot of times they will have to work for many, many days in a row, and they will have to sleep out in the forest and lay on the ground and, sleep in a safe place away from the fire, but they don't have a bed to go to because they have to stay out there and fight the fire. This is an Apache hotshot crew. These are firefighters that are from the Apache Reservation, and I will just play a little bit.
My dad told me, everything he learned about fire was from Apaches. Apaches were well known to be, warriors, fierce, last to surrender to the government. At the same time, fire doesn't care who you are. It'll take you out whenever it wants to, and we're just in the way. People probably think you're crazy, like, wow, we're running away from the fire, but you're running in. That's kind of weird, People still don't, know what we are. We've got a soccer team, you guys a basketball team.
Okay, so I will pause that. So I'm just going to go back a little bit here. This is the San Carlos Apache Reservation in Arizona. So this whole video is really good because it talks about these hotshot firefighters on this Apache reservation, and it talks about what they do and how they fight the fires, and it's very interesting. So I would like you to watch that on your own. Let's go back to our book. We're running out of time, so let's do a few more pages and we will see where we're at here. All right, this page just talks about various ways you can attack the fire from the air. Wildfires and nature. Even though they can be frightening, wildfires are a part of nature. They are part of the ecology of many forests and grasslands around the world. Small wildfires clear away fallen branches and excess undergrowth. This removes fuel that could feed a large destructive fire. The heat from smaller fires helps some trees release their seeds, and the ash fertilizes the soil. Small animals such as rodents have burrows deep in the ground where they can wait until a wildfire passes. Larger animals such as bears and elks can usually outrun fires. Plants cannot escape a fire. Many trees and other plants have defenses against fires, however. Some trees, such as sequoias, have thick bark that can protect them from fire. For one kind of tree, the lodgepole pine, fires help new trees grow. Lodgepole pines have cones that are covered with a sticky substance. This substance stops the cones from burning up. The fire's heat burns away enough of the sticky material for the seeds inside the cone to be released. The seeds then fall on land that has been cleared of other plants by the fire, giving them room to grow. And we do have lodgepole pines out in the Black Hills of South Dakota. Okay, a burning debate. Wildfires are a part of nature, but they can also be destructive and deadly. What is the best way to control them? The biggest fire in the history of the United States was in 1910, when the Great Idaho Fire killed 85 people and burned up millions of trees. After that fire, the U.S. Forest Service decided to put out every wildfire as soon as possible. This caused problems, however. When few wildfires are allowed to burn, dead leaves and other fuels build up. Trees grow larger and bushes spread. These changes to forests help to feed enormous fires. Experts argued for change. By the 1970s, the U.S. Forest Service decided it was better to let some wildfires burn in wild areas, well away from people and property. If no wildfires occurred naturally over a long period, foresters even lit them. These carefully controlled fires are called prescribed burns. Let's click on that. A prescribed burn is the process of burning an area of land under controlled conditions to reduce the risk of larger fires. All right, now let me kind of look here. I believe what we are going to do here is stop the video for now because it's getting kind of long. And we are going to pick up next time, because next time we'll finish this book. And then next time I want to show you how a forest can recover from fire. And then we might have some questions also. And then we will eventually get into fire safety, even in your own home, not like out in a wild forest or a wildfire area. All right, I will stop the video for now and catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.